So what you need to do, first and foremost, while controlling the head and their posture, you need to push their arm that's inside across. I need to shoot my hips up. I cannot expect him to go down into a triangle because it's just not realistic and it's not going to work. Your hips have to be off the mat to create the leverage of breaking their posture. So when you grab the wrist, you're going to punch the right one first 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm hanging on him. Oftentimes what happens is that they frame the hip right here. Okay? If I'm here and I'm holding, it's hard to push this across. What I'm going to do is for a split second, I'm going to lift up here and I'm going to push his arm all the way across into the pocket and then re-grip his head right here, and I have a good control. The next thing, I'm going to grab my shin, I'm going to put my foot on the hip on the mat, and I'm turning onto my right side. You're not going to get completely perpendicular because obviously you have somebody in a triangle, so it's hard because that would be kind of a side control. But I want to get my head towards his left knee, the outside arm knee, okay? As I'm here holding the head, you don't need to let go. My arm doesn't need to be here. It needs to be here. And the elbow needs to be also preventing that arm from coming out. And as I'm crunching, it's hard for him to pull that arm across. Okay, can you pull that right arm across? See, it's hard. And if he does, there's other options here. But I'm gonna take my foot. You see how my foot is out this way? If my foot's like this, I have no power to move my hip here. And I'm gonna push my hip back so that my right knee can move towards the mat, and you're going to kind of go in this circular motion with your head moving this way and this way, so you're literally on your right side. So when I throw this leg over, I'm going to like swing it so it'll help me reach over. These toes have to be spurred because you need to close this hole that his head and arm are in. There's a head-on choke with your leg. If your foot is loose and there's a hole right here, you're gonna have a hard time finishing. But when you pull these toes back, and I don't want anybody doing this, when you do this, you're putting pressure on your foot or this, or on your knee, and then you can't take your leg off, as opposed to here. If I need to take my foot off and readjust, I can. But when you're out here, you get stuck, and it's a bad habit. Bad habits turn into failed techniques. Here, my toes are back, spurred, my toes are spurred. And watch my foot. My toes go in, and my heel goes out. And look at this compression here. It closes the hole his head and arm are stuck in. Isn't that right, Webb?
Yes.
Yeah. Look, so we're gonna do this again. 1, 2, 3, hip. Keep the hip up and push this across at the elbow. In the elbow, push this in, and I crunch and I lock that door. Okay? Both controlling, because I want this spurring, because now my hips are hanging as he tries to lift his head up. Okay? I have the ability to control it. 1, 2, 3, lock it right here. Couple ways to finish. Remember, it's not this, because you're opening up this hole. If you do this and he pulls that arm out, across, you see how it loses. I mean, you still have this, which is a whole other thing. But that's, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get there. Maybe do that Monday. But this elbow still stays, and you're crunching. I wanna crunch, bring my knees in. In fact, I wanna even get to my leg. My right hand goes on the outside leg in a gable grip. This left hand pulls as this foot pinches, because look what happens here. If I'm just going down, which is typically what most do here, it doesn't tighten this hole in this triangle. You're gonna roll that knee in, and I'm gonna pull myself here and crunch. A triangle typically takes 2-3 seconds to finish. If it gets towards 4, 5, 6, you probably not have it tight, okay? So this one. So we're gonna step like this. 1, 2, 3, hips, up, elbow, push, 2 hands on the head, 1 hand on the shin, spur. Left foot, hip, left foot, mat, 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 shoot, grab that knee, and finish. One more time from this side. The reason why I want you guys to move your head towards their outside knee, meaning the arm that's out, this right one is in, it's because they can still lift you and slam you back down on the ground, just like a Rampage did to Ricardo Arona in Pride, whatever it was. I don't know if you've seen that. But Ricardo Arona had a tight triangle, Rampage just stood up, slammed him, knocked him out. Take a look, Rampage against Arona. Because the way to prevent that is like this. 1, 2, and pull. Pocket. 2 hands on the head. shin, hip, 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 and then I go and I lock this right here, because now he's not going to be able to take me and lift me off the mat, because he's not going to be able to neither get his head up nor get his legs back in order to posture up. And then from here, I just keep pulling here, and it tightens the triangle very nicely. Here, Ellsworth's foot on the mat. And you also have outside arm locks, and if you need to, inside arm locks. But I want you guys to be here, here. So I can think of reaching that leg. And then just pull myself into that leg and finish. Okay? You're gonna be on your right side, perpendicular. If you're like this, it's gonna be easy for them to pull that arm out and to drive and stack you. Drive, drive, drive. Yes, right there. Yes, because now you have to be able to have that available to finish. All right, so get on your right side. You're gonna be perpendicular with the right knee, more so pointed towards the mat. 1, 2, 3. You're crunching.